All right. Cheers, everyone, to my drink in my Hello Kitty cup. You can see it. For any of you who are new, I'm Kevin Kumar, the co-founder and co-director of Salastina. I don't have another head growing out of my chest. That's my baby daughter. Welcome to Happy Hour 20. I can't believe that this is our 20th one. Just a few quick notes before we begin. We listened to your feedback from last week, and we are offering video and audio performances to take place in both YouTube Live and Zoom today. So if you'd like to listen in YouTube Live, which we recommend, we'll have some instructions for you in the chat. Also, two very important people to Salastina are celebrating birthdays today. So please join me in a round of happy birthday for co-founder and co-artistic director Maya Jasper White and our resident cellist Yoshika Masuda. Are we ready? Unmute yourselves, everybody. You should be able to unmute yourself right now. Here we go. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to
you.
Happy birthday, dear Maya.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you. And lastly, you know, these events are free to the public, but we do pay the artists and we pay our staff for these events. In honor of Maya and Yoshi's birthdays today, our resident artists, Meredith Crawford and Benjamin Smolin, along with some of their musician colleagues, they are offering to match up to $900 in donations for today's happy hour. So we would like to thank them for that. I think it's a nice birthday gift. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Happy birthday, you guys.
Happy birthday, we love you.
I was already almost crying.
Oh, buckle up, girl. There's gonna be more.
Oh Lord. All right, Kevin, is it my turn now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you everybody so much for that really lovely surprise and also just for joining us tonight. I am so thrilled to share this special sneak peek with you. This is a project we've been working on for nearly 2 years now. So I wanted to introduce Vid by telling you how we met, because I think it sets up some great context for the rest of the hour. So back in, I think it was 2014, right, Vid? It's not, yeah. A friend of mine from the LA Opera called and asked if I would play in the string quartet for a production they were doing of something called Figaro 90210. And my response, I have to admit it, was a little bit like, groan. Okay, I see you, you know, trying to make something classical from the canon, really accessible to a different audience, blah, 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 blah. But okay, sure, I'll do it. And within about 3 minutes of the first rehearsal, I was completely floored and humbled by just how snobby my preconceived notions were and how brilliant Vid's work really was. And as the production moved on, I had my boyfriend, now husband, over here. Hi, Philip. He's a composer and he loves writing songs. So you have to come hear this. They added more shows due to popular demand. And by the time the thing was over, I felt like this man must be my friend and we must work together at some point. And here we are 5 years later, and I couldn't be more pleased to introduce you to Vid Guerrerio and his amazing work.
Well, thank you, Maya, and thank you, Kevin, and thank you for all of Salastina, all of your patrons, all of your donors. I really can't say how grateful I am for, really your unwavering support over the last 2 years. As we've developed OC fan tutte, not to mention your creativity in the face of these pandemic restrictions to carry off this experimental virtual workshop. I am excited to share this sneak peek with you guys. And also I see that a lot of the artists that we've been working with to put these together are online, so welcome all of you. I think probably it is the best place to start is with an introduction to Figaro 90210, which the big concept of it has to do with reimagining Beaumarchais' comedy of social justice in 18th century Europe as very much one about social justice in 21st century America. And the kind of device for that is to cast the iconic Figaro and his bride-to-be Susanna as undocumented Mexican workers on the Beverly Hills estate of a real estate mogul and his former TV starlet wife. Now, the politics and the real world parallels and all of that, that could certainly provide enough fodder for several hours of conversation. But to kind of introduce the show and my adaptation style, I want to focus on one of the less overtly political moments in the opera. And that number is from the third act of Marriage of Figaro, where the Countess Rosina, in order to win back her philandering husband, decides to trick him into a midnight tryst in the garden by dictating a letter to her maid, Susanna, who will write the letter in her hand, and the horny count will get all excited, thinking he's going to get with this hot maid, at which point the Countess will meet him in disguise and seduce him into falling back in love with her. Right? It's a very, very operatic plot. But even that said, we're going to play the Act 3 duet Sullaria from the Marriage of Figaro in a production from Grindboard as a kind of introduction to this. All right, so we're back. One of the reasons why I chose this number to introduce my adaptation style is because this duet is probably as well known, in this country at least, from its appearance in The Shawshank Redemption as it is for its original composition in The Marriage of Figaro. Now, in that movie, it's played over the loudspeaker in a prison in an act of defiance and a symbol of the transcendent humanity in this brutal prison setting. And the character who frames it says in voiceover, more or less, I don't know what these Italian ladies are saying, and I don't want to know. I want to imagine that the words that they are using are just simply match the beauty of their soaring voices. And I'm all for poetry about the power of music, but it's actually quite ironic that this number selected, the number selected to illustrate that in this movie is this duet from The Marriage of Figaro, because these Italian ladies, they ain't singing about transcendent beauty. They're singing about sex, like not only in terms of literally setting up a sexual liaison, but the words that they're using are dirty double entendres. And that's something that really kind of gets lost in kind of the haze of legitimacy that we kind of frame opera in. I mean, the truth is that in adapting Beaumarchais' text, De Ponte recreated the exact scenario, like the exact lines appear in the play, and De Ponte has adapted them, but he altered the words so that they conjure sexual puns in Italian. So what was a chestnut grove in the original, De Ponte recasts as a pine grove, a seemingly innocent shift, unless you consider that pini, that's the Italian word, sounds like the same thing in English, right? But De Ponte doesn't just stop with naming the male member. He then references boschetto in the same phrase, a term that is probably best matched, for its double meaning by the English bush, as in kind of going into the bush. And it's quite established. And that's how, audiences heard it in the day. De Ponte was criticized for being vulgar, for bringing low elements into the theater, but Mozart embraced that. He doesn't shy away from the innuendo, and he repeats these double entendres over and over, allowing his characters several opportunities to essentially giggle over how outrageous they're being, and then kind of nudge, wink each other and say, you think I'll get the hint? Of course I'll get the hint. I mean, we just said pini and boschetto like 10 times. So I would say that from my perspective, without that broad commedia dell'arte context, the number just becomes pretty music, as opposed to the really daring, exciting, and I would say really revolutionary creation that I think Mozart intended it to be. So with all of that build up, I guess, here is my take on the letter duet, the Sullaria, and what we're going to see.
Sorry, Vid, I just want you guys to think that as you listen to what Vid is going to say about this, and as we watch the video that follows, remember Brian's comment that I think I first heard from him in our podcast, that tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire. And I think that really applies with a lot of Vid's work. Sorry, Carrie.
No, thank you for that. What I would say is, like, while that Glein word reduction is lovely, on a certain level, you don't get the sense that they're repeating these things with any real understanding of the words that they are using as native speakers of this language, and people who really understand this idiom would get it. So again, here, this is from Figaro 90210. What we're going to see is the aging starlet Roxanne Conti and her undocumented housekeeper Susanna using the tools at their disposal in 21st century America to win back Roxanne's philandering husband in the sexting duet.
Okay, so for this clip, we will only be playing it in Zoom. So if you try to click on the YouTube link, that will not work for this one. Just letting you know.
So does that mean I can borrow your cell phone? What meat, I will cream them all done up like a spicy senorita. Is that racist or weird? Maybe a little. That's what I fear. But I think you should do it. Es por amor. It is for love. So I say screw it.
Hey there. So that was Raquel Suarez Groen and Samaria Alicea in the New York production of Figaro 90210. I'm not sure did the closed captioning subtitles work on that when it was shown? Possibly they did.
Yes,
Okay, wonderful, great.
They did.
All right, wonderful. So anyway, for better or for worse, that kind of illustrates my approach to adaptation. I will say that what I find most inspirational about Mozart's operas, it's not the dirtiness, it's not in and of itself, it's that especially these three operas that he wrote with Lorenzo da Ponte, he refused to honor a balkanized view of art as high versus low, court versus street. He rejected the notion that elements of human experience were not dignified enough for serious music. And in my view, he has the courage to present sex and comedy as just as fundamental to the human experience, and therefore just as worthy of the operatic stage as the so-called noble objects of love and duty, and finding ways to approach his work, while honoring that kind of revolutionary intent, is really the central objective. And I feel like you can't really parse out the little p political from the big p political in terms of what Mozart's doing. So I guess with that said, I guess it's a good moment to turn our attention to kind of Osi fan tutte, unless Maya and Kevin, you guys want to chime in with anything. All right.
Go for it.
So anyway, so it is Osi fan tutte, or A Question of Faith, is the adaptation of Cosi fan tutte. And if you know something about this opera, you probably know that it has a fairly, I don't want to say controversial reputation, and it has since the moment it premiered, and honestly, the libretto itself has been considered problematic since before it was even composed. Originally, it was offered to Salieri to attempt at a few numbers before pronouncing it unfit for composition, and an opinion that Mozart's widow, several years after his death, apparently ascribed to as well, and says while he was writing it, she was like, this is beneath his talent. And honestly, da Ponte himself referred to it as quite clearly the inferior of the three operas he wrote with Mozart. So on a certain level, calling this libretto problematic is not controversial. In contrast to the Marriage of Figaro or Don Giovanni, which have layers to their plots and their characters, Cosi fan tutte has two-dimensional characters and a story that pretty much is a straight line from beginning to end with no surprises, reversals, reveals, really anything. But Mozart kind of ignores that. He creates musical interest, musical depth, musical comedy that almost operates independently of the libretto's limitations. So with a score this rich, my challenge is really kind of finding, uncovering, and connecting a context, conflict, characters, and really comedy that do justice to what I think was Mozart's central intent. Like the original, Osi fan tutte asks what it means to be faithful, thereby begging the question, what is faith? And bringing us to the central couples of our comedy, which are young Christians in Orange County, splitting time between community college and jobs at a dying outdoor mall while they plan for their futures. So that's, I think, kind of all the context I want to provide for this introduction to the young women who are at the center of this story. And again, I thank Salastina, I thank all the singers for their amazing participation playing with us. This is kind of an experimental presentation, but this first one is kind of presented like a web video. The rest are kind of more like a traditional kind of experimental workshop element. But let's give this a whirl and see how it lands.
So just want to jump in really quickly. So we highly recommend that you try to listen to this in YouTube live, just to hear the full sort of range of character that the singers are bringing to it, and for quality of sound and for video resolution as well. But so if you want to do that, you can follow the instructions in the chat, and there will be a link there for our YouTube live channel, or you can just stay on Zoom.
Hey y'all, welcome to Good Girls Do, the righteous alternative to the usual parade of YouTube skanks. I'm Felicia.
And I'm Briella. And if there's one thing good girls do, it's wait for marriage. Which can be hard, I know, but no matter how hard or how long it gets, the wait, it's always worth it. Right, Felicia?
There's magic in getting married, such magic in getting married. Married, the word sounds like saying grace. The white gowns, the veils of lace, are everything a girl dreams of. From God up above. The whole world's getting married. When's my turn? I long to claim that blessed kiss, that yearning fame of wedded bliss, and learning to fit hand in glove. Please God admit I've truly earned this by waiting for your sacred love. Fill me with your sweet sacred love. A girl whose only child was married might find she's never lonely. Or one who's a little wild might change into someone calm and prudent and wise and true. Though she is nothing less than a total mess, yes, a total mess. For when a bride puts on a dress, it shows what's inside a princess. I'm literally dying of anticipation, awaiting my big transformation, my wedding, my wedding. I've chosen almost everything, and everybody knows that all I need is a diamond ring and him to just propose. The very least he owes me is to finally propose. A ball gown but bolder, with straps off the shoulder, a pink peony posy that's classic but cozy. I've planned this for years, I suppose that it shows. The very least he owes me is to finally propose. A shimmer made bodice, hair loose like a goddess, a skirt I can cut off for dancing my butt off. My dreams could be the first this deal has got to just close. I'm waiting here in this friggin' castle, but waiting is such a friggin' hassle. Look, everyone knows how a love story goes now, and so the least he owes me is to finally propose. Okay, well, if you agree with us, leave us a little message in the comments and we'll get back to you later.
I'm going to clap for Joanna and Annie for all of us.
Okay. I'd just like to acknowledge the singers are here from that last number. Joanna Secha and Annie Sherman are here. Thank you guys so much for your amazing work. I'd also just like to point out that they did that with zero direction and in isolation from each other. And that includes Keijin Kim, our wonderful resident pianist. So just imagine what they'll be able to do when they're all in the same room.
So really, shout out to all the singers and Keijin for that. So I guess kind of getting back to the story. So that's Felicia and Briella and their boyfriends, Frankie and Will, hold similarly traditional outlooks on gender roles. But the truth is that this is Orange County in the very recent, let's say pre-pandemic past. So they don't have to look far for a difference of opinion. So enter our remaining characters, including the battle-hardened social justice warrior Alonzo, who wants to teach these self-righteous Christians a lesson. So after enduring one too many of Frankie and Will's brotastic homophobic jokes, he enlists his gender-fluid ex-lover, who often also happens to be the girl's manager at the bridal shop where they work, to help lay a trap for the kids to teach them all a lesson about their self-righteousness. Now, before I introduce Cedric Berry, who I also believe is on this call as well, also accompanied by Keijin Kim, I want to talk about, as I said, my goal is to honor Mozart's music as much as possible. And Mozart wrote a lot of music for Cosi fan tutte, a lot of which you can't even include in it because it already runs 3 hours and 15 minutes. And so there are arias that are either alternate or just are cut because there are just too many of them. In streamlining the plot, it has allowed me to incorporate some songs that are usually cut, and including this one, which is an alternate, usually cut aria that, because the character that Alonzo is based on, Don Alfonso, doesn't really have his own aria, this has been kind of co-opted to kind of allow him to express his outlook on the world and what he's hoping to accomplish by laying this trap. So again, this is the character of Alonzo, played by Cedric Berry in They Don't Have a Prayer.
And if you have just joined us, I think a few people have joined since the last one. You can choose to listen in YouTube Live, or you can listen on Zoom. If you would choose YouTube Live, which has better quality, please follow the instructions in the chat. Thanks.
Let's not make this all about me. It's about the dream we share. To shake down the righteous who judge us, with or without me there. Long as they go down, I don't care. Real Jesus would never begrudge us. Surely you don't doubt me there. I swear those normals don't have a prayer. Every slight we've heard since way back, every smug, judgmental glare. Time is up, we've come for payback. Watch out, normals everywhere. We're on a mission, like crazy gay crusaders. They convert, okay, if not, we slay the haters. This Inquisition will destroy the opposition. They surrender in the end without condition. But we need our queen beside us. To succeed, our queen must guide us. Poised and peerless, skilled and stunning, cool and cunning, so fierce, so fearless. You secure their trust to sow seeds of lust. Once you're there, they so don't have a prayer. Crushed illusions can be awesome once they draw some mature conclusions. They might learn and grow. Okay, fine, I know. To be fair, they so don't have a prayer. It's time the normal suffer their fair share. Starting it ain't no, they don't have a prayer.
It's beautiful, Cedric.
Oh, yeah, great work. So I would say moving forward with the story, if there's one way in which the modern world is infinitely superior to the past eras, it's that the internet makes it a lot easier to create credible scenarios of lovers in disguise. So for you fans of the opera, there's no dressing as Albanians here. No offense to Albanians, but it's as simple as creating a fake dating profile, which is what the boys do, each agreeing to try and sweet talk the other's girlfriend into a real life date in order to win a high stakes bet with Alonzo. That their good Christian girls would never even flirt with another dude online, even if left alone for the whole summer while the boys head off to join a Christian mission in South America. So after a tearful goodbye, the girls are introduced to a dating app, which is definitely not their thing, because not only are they in a great relationship with guys that they're going to marry someday, they're good Christian girls. So this is not their thing, or is it? So here is Deliver Me, sung by Annie Sherman as Briella, followed by Woman Up, sung by Joanna Seja as Felicia, responding to this modern temptation.
We're not naive. We've seen our friends go through that, but we don't have to do that. True love isn't like shopping. It's a gift from our Savior. Once on that road, there's no stopping. The loose and lewd behavior. They start there, then surprise. They wind up sluts and swingers. Just look at all those guys. Hundreds of hot guys here at my fingers. God, please deliver me from this temptation. Hear this a simple plea for your salvation. This weird sensation beneath my skin, is that sin creeping in? I need your attention and swift intervention. Look, I probably should mention, I can't stop shivering, my heart keeps quivering. God, are you up there? If so, just give a ring, or maybe texting is your thing. I'll take whatever you can swing. God, please deliver me from this temptation. What do you need? My GPS location. My desperation seems pretty clear. So God, why aren't you here? If you sense frustration, it's of your creation. Are you on vacation? If you can't tell at all, I don't feel well at all. God, if you're up there, spell it all right out. Look, I expect a call, so
nation. We just don't hog credits like a man. On the outside, yes, our endowments are those of a flower. But inside there lies unbounded power. See the key to women's brilliance. It lies in our strength and in our virtue and resilience. Strong and steady as a rock. Men are show-offs, and though we play along, deep down we know who's made of stronger stock. Woman up, girl. Real females are not flighty. Though we may look like Aphrodite, our power comes straight from God Almighty. Our guys are gone, but we are connected spirit level. Any temptation from the devil won't change a thing. I say bring it on. I said bring it. That's right. Bring it on. Not one guy I see could even hold a candle. I'm not even sure I understand the hype. I'm a lot of chick to handle, and these dudes are not my type. Line 'em up and take a swipe. No, 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 ew, gross. Not even close, so adios. Okay, bye-bye, so not my type. There's not one rooster in this flock who could tempt this mother hen to leave her pen. Steady and solid as a rock, first you woman up, then woman up again. It's overtime and you're a man down, so you woman up. 'Cause overtime ain't when you stand down, or you woman up. And I'm showing you how. Girl, woman up right here, right now.
Big round of applause for Annie and Joanna on those. Back to the story to introduce our last clip. So the terms of Alonzo's bet with the boys are that he gets to approve every word that they send or say to the girls as part of their fake dating profiles, which is probably why the surprisingly sweet opening message that the girls receive actually has them questioning whether their new suitors deserve a show of Christian kindness. So Briella dives into the chat, but Felicia holds firm, warning that it's only a matter of time before the sweet texts turn to dirty emojis, and hopes that Briella will have enough self-respect to block her suitor as soon as she sees an eggplant. Right? So the thing is that the terms of Alonzo's bet don't cover emojis, an oversight that Will exploits to turn the situation to his and Frankie's advantage. So here are this is going to be David Castillo and Cedric Berry, and hold on one second, jump
John
in,
Keenan.
and John.
John Keenan.
Yes, John Keenan.
Hey, don't be a hater, you see, sooner or later, a great communicator has no need for words at all. It's attitude and tone and vibe that dictate if your styles jive. This captures moods you can't describe, emotions great and small, less typing and thinking, more thumbs up and winking. Hey, don't be a hater, with me as your translator, you'll come to a greater understanding of texting and really connecting. Each symbol has meaning. The cherries mean you're sweet, while the taco means let's eat. This face says I'm dumbstruck, the eggplant says good luck. Seriously, in Japan it totally means good luck. Really? Pull out your phone, look it up.
Dude, that's my girlfriend.
Hey, don't be a hater, swear I'm not out to date her, but that dude's gonna crater soon as I send this, I promise. Then once I've unlocked her, her world is getting rocked. What a crock, I'm so shocked, I've been blocked.
You think you're so smart?
Heck no, we know it.
At best, you're gross smart.
So how'd you blow it?
Because you cheated.
We never cheated.
You know you cheated. Need I repeat it?
We want what we did, so you can eat
Did
it.
you forget the rules? Cause when we set the rules, you said you let me vet every word. And yet I bet you'll claim I misheard.
We let you make the rules.
So why'd you break the rules?
A symbol's not a word.
That's totally
Fair.
absurd. You don't play
Square, yeah, this case is airtight. Try to fight it, but I so know I'm right. Why not admit defeat?
Why not admit you cheat?
A symbol's not a word.
That's totally
Fair.
absurd. You don't play
Square,
fair.
yeah,
In my
this case is airtight. Try to fight it, but I so know I'm right. I know that I am right, and so don't try to fight. I know I'm right. Yeah, I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
Hello, this is co-director Kevin Kumar. Unfortunately, at this point, the recording was accidentally cut short. It's a shame because we had some wonderful questions and a lot of enthusiasm from among the 130 or so attendees. While emphasizing that he would never ask a singer to jeopardize their vocal health, Vid pointed out the storytelling limitations of singers only using big bel canto style throughout an entire opera. The singers chimed in about how much they enjoyed working on the videos and about how Vid and Salastina encouraged them to bring their roles to life by stretching their singing styles. If you'd like to support Salastina's production of Osi fan tutte, please visit the web address on screen. Once there, you'll see how you can commission an aria of your choice, along with the benefits that come along with your support. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions, or if you'd like to support Osi fan tutte or Salastina in a different way. Thank you so much for watching.